Is it wrong to help a stranger? Does giving to the poor still bring blessings? Or can one simple act of kindness open a door you can never close again? What if the hand you dropped money into was not the hand of a human being? Chinonso didn't know. He didn't even imagine it. He only saw an old beggar woman sitting by the roadside, shaking, hungry, and helpless. So he helped her. But that same night, he woke up screaming, his chest heavy, his legs numb, and in the darkest corner of his bedroom sat the same woman he helped that afternoon. So now the real question is, what exactly did he give her? And what did she take from him in return? Besties, sit tight, because this story will make you think twice before helping a stranger again. Chinonso Ayodele woke before the sun. He was a man of small habits. A cup of black tea at 5:30, a short prayer, and the same dusty road to the office every weekday. He worked at a small accounting firm in Enugu, the kind of place where pencils mattered and the photocopy machine knew everyone's secrets. Chinonso liked numbers, because numbers kept promises. They never whispered in the dark. They never asked for pity. At 28, he had a calm life, an honest job, a rented flat in New Haven, and a wife who loved him simply. Amaka cooked jollof rice like it could heal the hardest day. She laughed loud when she was happy and worried quietly when the day piled into her husband's face. The little home smelled like warm sauce pots and Bible pages. It was ordinary. It was enough. But the city could be restless. Enugu had a noise that hummed like old radio, market stalls at dawn, exhaust at noon, and endless voices at dusk. Chinonso walked the same path every day, past the mechanic who sold akara, past Mama Ne's shop that boiled fresh yam, and past Coal Camp Junction, where drivers backed and passengers pushed for space. For months, a thin old woman sat under the rusted billboard at Coal Camp. Her wrapper was patched, her bowl was chipped, her hair was white and wild, sticky with dust. She did not move much. She would put out her hand when people passed, repeating the same quiet prayer. God bless you. God bless you for your mercy. Most people walked by her. Some dropped coins without looking, others cursed at the dust and hurried on. Chinonso noticed her sometimes. He felt that small pull, that soft tug of guilt, but he would look quickly away. He told himself he would help next time. He was not a cruel man. He was simply careful. He paid his bills. He helped his mother when he could. Yet something in the old woman's eyes made his chest ache in a way counting could not fix. Weeks slid by like the pages of a calendar. Rain came and went. The woman was always there, in rain, in sun, in market chaos. Once, a young boy shoved past her cart and knocked over her bowl. She did not shout. She gathered the coins with hands that trembled, and when the boy's mother tried to scold her, she only smiled. The smile did not reach her eyes. Chinonso told himself stories. Maybe she had once been someone's mother. Maybe life turned on cruel luck. Maybe she was waiting for a miracle. He told himself he would help when he had more. But the heart keeps adding up small debts. A missed birthday here, a delayed visit to the village there. Guilt stacked quietly until it demanded payment. That Friday changed everything. It had been a good day at work. His boss, Mr. Eze, called him into the office with a smile that did not match the usual notice of trouble. Chinonso, he said, handing a folded letter, they promoted you. Your patience has finally paid. For a moment, Chinonso could not breathe. The promotion felt like fresh air. At the evening staff party, colleagues raised plastic cups and sang congratulations. He returned home with the letter in his pocket like a small victory he wanted to protect. Walking back to their flat, hand tucked in his jacket, the old woman at coal camp sat in her usual corner. The sun was softer then, that orange hour when the market eased. She lifted her head as he passed, her eyes holding something like a question. Chinonso stopped. A short silence arrived between them. The air felt thin. He felt the pull again, deeper now, as if all the tiny debts of kindness in his chest had called him forward.
Here, Mama.
He reached into his pocket, not to show off, not to boast. He simply wanted to do one thing right in a world that kept testing him. Here, Mama, he said, and he placed 2 folded notes in her bowl. It was not much. It was exactly what he could spare. The old woman's face changed. She lifted the tickets as if they were a small treasure and pressed them briefly to her chest. Then she looked at Chinonso with softness that made him step back. "Thank you, my son," she said. Her voice was the kind of voice that makes you think of rain on dry ground, mild, grateful, but with a depth that sets the skin on your arms to gooseflesh. The words that followed were like a blessing and like a bell toll at the same time. "May your hands never lack," she said. "May your road be sweet. May the Lord hold your children." She touched his wrist gently, a motherly touch. The sun seemed to move across the sky in that moment, and a coldness brushed behind his neck. He shifted, nervous. "God bless you," he answered, half laughing at his own unease, and started walking away. He took 3 steps and then looked back. The old woman was still sitting, but her face seemed to bend in the wrong light. For a second her eyes glowed, not the glow of health, but something darker, like coals under ash. He blinked, and the light left her eyes as if someone turned a small switch. Chinonso breathed out and said a prayer under his breath, the way men do when they want to feel safe again. He told himself he had done the right thing. He told himself that kindness must be given freely. That night, sleep felt thin. His head carried the day's noise, congratulations, the letter in his pocket, Amaka's warm smile. He lay down and closed his eyes, but a small whisper kept brushing the edges of his sleep.
What is the problem?
In the first hour he woke, convinced someone had called his name. It was soft, almost part of the wind. He rolled over and Amaka murmured, "Everything all right?" He mumbled yes and tried to sleep again. By morning he forgot the whisper. Daylight made the home honest. He brushed his teeth, put on his suit and walked to work. The accounting office seemed normal. Out-of-order calculations, glances from colleagues, the low hum of the copyfire. For the whole week he tried to go back to normal life, and he almost did. The promotion meant paperwork, meetings, a small celebration on Saturday night. But the city remembers what you do. It stores actions in corners and dust, like coins the wind does not blow away. A small kindness can be a key for something else to come through. Chinonso did not know the key would fit any lock. On Wednesday, the first shadow happened. He was sitting in the living room late, papers spread on the coffee table, the TV showing a late drama that made Amaka laugh softly in the kitchen. Chinonso glanced up at the mirror on the wall and froze. For a fraction of a second, there was a figure behind him. Not clear, not formed, a bend of a shoulder, a little movement where there should be nothing. He shook his head and told himself it was tiredness. He rubbed his eyes and went back to the numbers. But that night, the whispers returned. Chinonso. Chinonso. The sound was close to his ear. He sat up, heart banging. Amaka stared and asked, What is it? He forced a laugh
What is
and
the
whispered,
problem?
Nothing, just dreams.
He started to dream anyway. In the sleep, he stood at coal camp, but everything was wrong. The sky darker, the billboard falling, voices twisted. The old woman's mouth opened wide, and the light seemed to pour out of it. She reached with fingers that were too long and grabbed his shirt. He jerked awake, sweating. Amaka had her hand on his chest, steadying him with breath and small prayers. Days passed. The whispers came by noon now. A cold voice in the middle of his work. Files blurred. His hands trembled when he added numbers. The boss, Mr. Eze, called him in one afternoon and asked, Chinonso, are you all right? You don't look like yourself. I'm fine, sir, he lied. He was not fine. The ache in his chest was not numbers. He kept replaying the old woman's smile, the way her eyes flashed for a second. He tried to tell himself it was nothing, but the city gives you nothing for free. Amaka watched him. She noticed the way his face drew inward, the way he rubbed his neck when he thought she wasn't looking. Go see a doctor, she said quietly one night, her voice tired from sleepless watching. Please, I don't like this. He nodded, because her worry was heavier suit than pride. He promised, yet even when he sat across from the doctor and heard words like stress and rest, something in him did not hear it right. That night he slept, but the whisper came again, clearer, closer. Chinonso, you opened the door. He woke with his hand clamped over his mouth, testing iron. Amaka's eyes opened in the dark. Before he could say anything, the words rushed out of him, small and trembling. I gave her money. That old woman that called camp, I gave her money last Friday. Amaka sat up straight. The room felt colder. She held him closer than she had that morning in joy. We'll fix this, she said, though her voice shook. Outside their window, the city rolled on. Taxi horns, a distant radio singing, a hawker's call. Inside the room, the small house where two lives had been ordinary now felt fragile like thin glass. And somewhere in the city, under flickering street lights, the old woman at coal camp rocked slowly in her corner. Her bowl was not empty. It never truly was. Coins clinked quietly. A shadow moved over her lips like a slow cloth.
Chinonso closed his eyes and tried to breathe. He did not know then how sharp and long the road would be. He did not know how the smallest mercy would stretch like a net and catch him in its weave. He only knew that his hands had given a little and that the world had started to whisper back. That was the beginning. When the night grew deeper, his sleep did not bring rest. The voice kept coming. The shadows kept testing the corners of his room. And when the morning came, he would stand, shaky, determined, frightened, ready to find an answer. He would follow small crumbs of truth down Enugu streets, knock on doors that would not open, and ask the market people questions that they would answer with silence. But those were mornings for another pain. For the next few days, Chinonso walked around Enugu like someone carrying an invisible weight on his shoulders. He tried to bury himself in work, but every step felt slower. Every breath felt heavier. Every light flickered differently around him. Something had shifted. Something had followed him home. And every night it became clearer. That evening, after he told Amaka about the old woman, she insisted he sleep early. She massaged his shoulders, prayed over him, and tucked him into bed like a worried mother caring for a child. Nothing will happen, she whispered. But as soon as the lights went off,
the room changed. The air thickened. The shadows stretched. And the whisper came again, soft, slow, and clearer than before. Chinonso. Chinonso shut up, breath loud, heart racing. The voice had said his name fully this time. Not like wind, not like memory, like someone leaning close to his ear. He turned sharply, but no one was there. The wardrobe, the window, the curtains, all still. But the corner of the room felt wrong, too dark, too heavy, like a presence was sitting there silently, waiting to be noticed. Amaka stirred. Again? He nodded. She placed her palm on his chest, whispering a short prayer. God is with you. But her hand trembled. The next morning, Chinonso carried the whisper in his body like fever. At work, he kept looking over his shoulder. During lunch, he felt a cold breeze sweep behind him, yet the windows were shut. In the toilet mirror, he caught a glimpse of something behind him again. Not a person, not a figure. Just movement, like someone stepping backward the moment he turned. He splashed water on his face. This is stress, he told himself. It's nothing, nothing. But fear doesn't listen to logic. Fear has its own voice. That night, he had the first real nightmare. He was standing at Coal Camp Junction again, alone. The sky was orange like sunset mixed with fire. The billboard where the beggar sat was bent like something had pushed it. He looked around. Nobody, no cars, no sound. Then he saw her sitting in the exact same spot. The old woman. Her head was bent. Her wrapper flapped in a wind that didn't touch him. He stepped closer. Ma? His dream voice whispered. She lifted her head. Her face wasn't the same.
Her wrinkles were deeper. Her forehead cracked like dried mud. And her eyes were completely white. No pupils, no black, just milk-white emptiness staring at him. He stumbled back, but she stood, her posture rising too fast for her age. Chinonso. Her voice doubled, one voice old and shaky, the other deeper, darker, echoing like a man speaking inside her. You gave me your kindness. She moved closer. He couldn't move. Now your destiny follows me. Before he could run, her hand stretched across the air, long, thin, bony, and cold. It touched his throat. He gasped. No air, no sound, his heart thudding like war drum. Her grip tightened. You opened the door, the deeper voice hissed. His eyes rolled back. Her grip tightened more. His breath faded. He screamed and woke up screaming in real life. Amaka rushed to him. Nonso, what is it? Talk to me. He couldn't. His breaths came short and sharp. Sweat soaked his shirt. His voice stuttered. She grabbed me. Amaka held him like he was breaking. Her tears fell on his shoulder.
This is no longer ordinary, Nonso. She wasn't wrong. Because when he tried to stand from the bed, his right leg buckled and refused to move. His knee bent the wrong way, his toes curled inward. He crashed to the floor. Amaka screamed, "Jesus, Nonso!" He tried again. Nothing. His entire right leg felt like stone. Cold stone. No sensation, no warmth, no strength. Amaka dragged him up with trembling hands, crying, "Something is wrong. Something is wrong with you. We have to go to the hospital." But Chinonso shook his head stubbornly. "It's nothing. It will pass. It's just a dream." But he couldn't finish the sentence. His right side of his face twitched. His mouth drooped slightly. His fingers went numb. Amaka nearly fainted. "Chinonso, this is a stroke." She grabbed her wrapper, wrapped it around herself, and rushed to the neighbor's door. "Papa Ugo, please come. Something is happening to my husband." The neighbor, a retired nurse, ran in. He examined Chinonso, pressed a cold stethoscope to his chest, checked his pulse. Finally, he looked up with a frown. "It is mild stroke, but something else is wrong. Something I cannot explain medically." Amaka's heart froze. The nurse lowered his voice. "Did he eat something strange? Touch something strange? Did he offend someone?" Amaka and Chinonso exchanged a terrified look. The same answer hit them both. The beggar. The old woman at coal camp. The woman he gave money to. The woman whose eyes had glowed for a second.
Amaka swallowed hard. She knelt beside her husband and held his shaking hand. "This is spiritual," she whispered. "I know it. I feel it in my bones." And that night, as Chinonso lay awake, unable to sleep, unable to sit, unable to think, the whisper came again. Soft, close, cold, right beside his ear. "Chinonso, I'm not done with you." He screamed. Amaka rushed to him. "Who is in this house?" she shouted into the empty air. And in the corner of the room, just for a moment, she saw something move. A shadow. Small. Bending. Watching. She covered her mouth and whispered, "Nonso, this thing is following us." And that was when she made her decision. She would seek help. Real help. Not the hospital. Not medicine. Not rest. A prophetess. Someone who could see beyond the ordinary. Someone who could chase whatever had entered their home. Chinonso could not sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard the same cold whisper. "Chinonso, I am not done with you." He would jump up, shaking. Amaka held him each time, but she was scared too. She did not say it, but her eyes showed everything. Something was in their home. Something that was not human. By morning, Chinonso was weak. His right leg still felt stiff like wood. His fingers were heavy. He could not stand well.
Amaka sat beside him on the bed. She said softly, "Nonso, this is not ordinary. I can feel it." He looked at her with tired eyes. "I know." She wiped his face with a cloth. She continued, "I must find help. If I don't, something worse may happen." Chinonso tried to shake his head. "No, don't leave me." But she held his hand. "I'm not leaving you forever. I will come back quickly. I just need to find someone who can pray. Someone who can see what we cannot see." He looked down. He did not like her going alone, but he knew she was right. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Amaka tied her wrapper tight and stepped outside. The morning sun was rising, but the road felt cold. Even the birds were quiet. She walked fast, past the small shops, past the school field, past the market women setting up tomatoes.
Every step, she whispered, "God help us. God help us." She went to a small church at New Layout. People in the area said the prophetess there could see things others could not see. The church was quiet. Candles burned slowly. 3 women were praying inside. Amaka stood at the door, afraid to speak. Then she saw the prophetess sitting on a wooden chair. The woman was old, but calm. Her eyes were sharp, almost too sharp. The moment Amaka stepped forward, the prophetess lifted her head and said, "Your husband's problem did not start from sickness." Amaka froze. She had not said anything yet. The prophetess continued, "Your husband gave something to someone he should not have given to." Amaka's legs became weak. She whispered, Yes, he gave money to a beggar." The prophetess shook her head slowly.
That beggar is not ordinary, she said. She takes from people. When you give to her, she collects your luck, your peace, your health. Amaka covered her mouth with her hand. Tears rolled down her face. "So what will happen to my husband?" she asked in a small voice. The prophetess stood up and walked closer. "Listen to me," she said calmly. "Your husband will not die, but the only way to break this is simple." Amaka looked up quickly. "What must we do?" The prophetess spoke in a low, steady voice. "Your husband must see the beggar again." Amaka's heart jumped. "See her again? But why?" "Because the curse started when he gave her something. To break it, he must take back what belongs to him." Amaka wiped her tears. "How do we find her? She may be anywhere." "No," the prophetess said. "Spirits like her do not travel far. She is close, she is waiting, and you will find her." She gave Amaka a small bottle of oil. "Rub this on his hands and feet every night," she said. "When he begins to feel warmth, that is the sign that the curse is breaking." Amaka held the oil tight and whispered, Thank you, Mama." The prophetess smiled gently. "Go home, my daughter, and do not be afraid. You will win this battle." Amaka returns home. When Amaka reached home, Chinonso was sitting on the couch, staring at the wall. His face was pale. His right leg was stretched out straight. His hands were shaking. She sat beside him and held him. "I found help," she whispered. He looked at her slowly. What did she say? Amaka took a deep breath. She said, "You gave money to the wrong person." She said, "That beggar is not human." Chinonso's eyes widened. Suddenly, he remembered the way the old woman's eyes glowed when he gave her the money. His hands shook harder. "And what must we do?" he whispered. "We must find her," Amaka said. "That is the only way to break this attack." Chinonso swallowed hard. "Find that beggar again? What if she finds us first?" Amaka squeezed his hand. "We will look together. We will not stop. We will find her." And for the first time in many days, Chinonso felt a small, very small bit of hope. Amaka woke up early the next morning. The first thing she did was check her husband. "Nonso, how do you feel?" she whispered.
Chinonso tried to move his right leg. It was still weak, but this time he felt a small warmth in his toes. Not much, just a tiny heat, but it was there. His eyes widened. Amaka, my leg, I felt something. She smiled for the first time in days. That is the sign the prophetess talked about. It means the prayer is working. Chinonso nodded slowly. Even that small warmth gave him courage. Today, they would begin the search. Today, he would take the first step toward taking his life back. They step out into Nugu. Amaka held Chinonso's arm as they walked outside. He leaned on a wooden stick Papa Ugu gave them. They moved slowly through the street. People greeted them. Good morning. How body Chinonso? We never see you for days. Amaka only smiled weakly. Nobody needed to know what they were facing. Their first stop was Coal Camp Junction, the place where everything started. When they reached the corner under the rusty billboard,
She was not there. Her usual place was empty. The bowl was gone. The piece of mat she used to sit on was gone. Chinonso frowned. She sits here every day, rain or sun. Amaka looked around. Let's ask someone. They approached a meat seller nearby. Good morning, Amaka greeted. Please, the old beggar woman who used to sit here, have you seen her today? The man shook his head. No, she stopped coming 2 days ago. Eh? Amaka asked. Why? The man sliced meat and said quietly, one small girl says she see the woman disappear at night, just vanish. But I don't know if na lie o. Amaka and Chinonso exchanged a frightened look. Disappear? Disappear how? But there was no time to waste. They needed to keep searching. Second stop, Ogbete Market. Ogbete Market was always busy. The noise was loud, the ground was dusty, and the smell of spices, fish, and roasted corn filled the air. Amaka held Chinonso tightly so he wouldn't fall. They asked every trader they saw, have you seen an old woman who begs for money? She has a white scarf. She walks slowly. She often stays by coal camp. Many traders answered, no, we not see her. Who be that woman again? She don't move from that side few months now. I hear her say she dey sick. Nobody gave the same answer. Nobody was sure. But one woman selling oranges stopped peeling and looked up slowly. You mean that old woman with sad eyes? She asked. Chinonso nodded quickly. Yes, that one. The woman bit her lip. She came here for some days, but one night she fought with another beggar. Why? Amaka asked. The woman shook her head. People said the other beggar accused her of witchcraft. Next morning, that beggar fell sick and died. Amaka's heart dropped. Even Chinonso felt cold air around him. This was becoming worse than they thought. Third stop, New Market. They walked for hours. Chinonso tried his best to hide his pain. His leg dragged a little, but he refused to stop. He kept his eyes sharp, checking every corner, every roadside, every shade under the trees. Amaka asked another trader, please, have you seen the old beggar woman? We are looking for her. The trader wiped sweat from her forehead. I no see her for many weeks. Maybe she don't travel. Travel? A spirit beggar. Travel? Chinonso knew better. Spirits don't travel. They shift. They hide. They wait. His chest tightened again.
Where are you hiding? He whispered under his breath. That evening, by the time they returned home, they were tired.
Chinonso dropped on the chair with a sigh. His leg hurt, his back hurt, his head felt heavy. Amaka knelt beside him. "We will continue tomorrow," she said softly. "We will not give up." He nodded, but deep inside, fear was growing again. What if they never find her? What if she comes for him instead? What if the curse gets stronger? That night, he prayed before sleeping. "God, please, don't let her find me." But at 2 a.m., he woke up suddenly. Not by noise, not by dream, but by movement. Something moved at the window. He turned slowly. The curtain blew inward, even though there was no wind. A small shadow slipped across the wall. His heart jumped. Then he heard it. Not beside his ear this time, not inside his head, but from outside the window. "You can search, but you cannot hide." He screamed. Amaka rushed to him. "What is it? What did you see?" He pointed at the window with shaking fingers. She was there, outside, watching us." Amaka froze. They held each other until morning. The next day, Chinonso stood up with his walking stick, and for the first time, his right foot moved a little better. The warmth was spreading. Amaka smiled with hope.
"The prophetess said this would happen," she whispered. "It means we will find her soon." Chinonso nodded, breathing hard. "Then let's continue." They stepped back into the streets of Enugu. Today, they would search a new place, a crowded place, a noisy place, a place where shadows hide easily. The Holy Ghost bus terminal. And that decision was the beginning of the moment they would finally see her, but not the way they expected. Holy Ghost bus terminal in Enugu was always full. Buses honked non-stop. Conductors shouted names of towns. Nsukka, Abakaliki, 9th Mile, Gariki. Women sold boiled groundnuts. Children ran around with pure water sachets. It was the kind of place where a person could hide easily or appear suddenly. Amaka held Chinonso's arm tightly as they walked through the crowd. He leaned on his stick but tried to stand strong. "Look everywhere," she told him quietly. "She may be sitting on the ground or under a shade or by the fences." Chinonso nodded. They searched behind buses, near the ticket stands, under the trees, beside the shops, near the loading lane. Nothing. Amaka asked a bus driver, "Please, sir, have you seen an old woman who begs for money? She has white hair and sits with a bowl." The man shook his head. "No, madam, not today." She asked a pure water seller, then a akara woman, then 2 students waiting for a bus. Same answer. "No, we never see Amo." Amaka's hope slowly fell. Chinonso's chest tightened. Was this journey useless? Was the beggar really gone?
He sat on a low bench to rest. His leg pulsed with heat, more warmth than yesterday, but his heart
heart was heavy. "I think she is hiding from us," he said quietly. "No spirit will want us to find it." Amaka started to speak, but her voice died in her throat. Her eyes grew wide. She tapped Chinonso's shoulder sharply. "Nonso, look." He turned slowly, and there, under a small broken umbrella, next to a cracked wall, sat the old beggar woman. She was right there, right in front of them, as if she had been waiting. The beggar looks different. She did not look like she did at coal camp. Her wrapper was dirtier. Her lips were cracked. Her skin looked older than before. But the most frightening thing was her eyes. They were not looking down like normal beggars. They were watching people, studying them, waiting. Her bowl sat in front of her. A few coins lay inside. She raised her thin hand and said in her usual soft voice, "Please help me. God bless you." A man dropped money and walked away. The beggar's lips curved into a small smile. Amaka whispered, "That is her, I'm sure." Chinonso stared. His heart beat fast. His legs shook. His fingers went cold. "Yes," he whispered, "that is the woman that blessed me the night everything changed." Amaka squeezed his hand. "Nonso, this is the moment. You must speak to her." He swallowed hard.
What if she gets angry? What if she attacks me? What if... Nonso, Amaka said gently, you must finish what you started. Chinonso takes the first step. He stood up slowly. His leg hurt, but he forced it to move. He walked toward the beggar woman. With every step he took, the crowd around them seemed to become quiet, as if the whole place was holding its breath. Amaka followed behind him, nervous but brave. When they got close, the beggar looked up. The moment her eyes met Chinonso's, her smile froze. Her body stiffened. Her hand trembled slightly. She recognized him. She knew him. She whispered, almost too softly, "You." Chinonso stopped. "Yes, it's me. The man you blessed." The beggar blinked slowly. Something dark flashed across her face. "You came back," she said quietly. Her voice had changed. It was deeper, stronger, not like the weak old voice she used before. Amaka stepped forward. "We know what you did to him." The beggar looked away. "You should not have come," she whispered. "You should have stayed away." Her hands began to shake faster. Chinonso felt fear rise in his chest, but he forced himself to speak. "You took something from me. My peace, my health, my strength. I want it back." The beggar's eyes widened like someone touched her soul. People nearby started noticing. 2 bus drivers stood still. A woman frying yam turned around. A conductor stopped shouting passengers. Something was happening.
Everyone felt it. The beggar looked left and right. She tried to stand, slowly, painfully. "You don't understand," she said shakily. "I did not come for you. You came to me. You gave me your hand. You offered yourself." Chinonso shook his head. "No, I only wanted to help." She whispered, And that was the mistake. Suddenly, she pointed one finger at him. Her voice dropped low, too low for a normal human. Do you want your destiny back? Then make me let go. Her shadow on the wall behind her moved, even though she was sitting still. The crowd gasped. Amaka grabbed Chinonso's arm. The beggar's face twisted. Her eyes glowed faintly. And she whispered again, "Let us end this." People screamed. Someone shouted, "Jesus, what is happening?" But the confrontation had just begun. The moment the beggar's eyes began to glow, the busy Holy Ghost terminal changed. People stopped shouting. Noise dropped. Air became cooled. A woman selling roasted plantain whispered, "Chai, what is that?" A young boy hiding behind his mother said, "Mommy, her eyes are shining." More people turned to look.
Everyone felt it. Chinonso tried not to shake, but his heart was beating too fast. Amaka held his arm tightly. "Don't step back," she whispered. "This is the moment. Don't let her scare you." The beggar stood slowly. Her legs shook. Her back bent. Her neck cracked as she lifted her head. But her eyes, bright, strange, not human, did not leave Chinonso's face. "You should not have found me," she said. Her voice did not sound like a normal old woman. It was deeper now, like another person was speaking through her. The crowd grew larger. People moved close but kept a little distance. A man wearing a blue shirt raised his phone. "Wait, make I record this Tino. Something alright." But before he pressed record, his phone screen went black by itself. He jumped back. "Ah, this one passed me." Chinonso faces her. Chinonso swallowed hard and spoke. "You took something from me. Return it." The beggar blinked slowly, but her eyes glowed brighter. "You gave me your pity, and I took your peace." Amaka shouted, "You nearly destroyed his life. Why?" The beggar's hands shook violently. Her fingernails darkened. Her shoulders jerked. Her shadow moved again, without her body moving. People gasped loudly. "God forbid! What kind of thing is this? This woman no be ordinary." The beggar hissed softly. "You all look at me like I am a monster, but you do not know my story." Her voice trembled, not from fear, from anger mixed with pain. Chinonso stepped closer. "Then tell us your story. Speak!" Her eyes stopped glowing for a moment. She stared at him, long, tired, sad. "You want to hear it? You want to know why I am like this?" Chinonso nodded. The crowd remained silent. Even the bus driver stopped honking. The prophetess' oil reacts. Amaka still held the small bottle of oil the prophetess gave them. Suddenly, the bottle became warm, very warm. She looked down. The oil inside was bubbling, even though the bottle was sealed. "Amaka, this oil is reacting." The beggar saw the bottle. Her face twisted in fear. "No!" she shouted loudly. "Keep that away from me!" Her voice echoed loudly, too loudly. People jumped back. The beggar's hair lifted slightly, like wind was blowing from the ground. Her wrapper shook. Her breath grew sharp and heavy. Even children started crying. A man whispered, "This one pass beggar, na spirit." Another man added, "God abeg, make she no face me." Amaka tightened her grip on Chinonso's arm. "This oil is a sign," she said. "The prophetess said, when it reacts, the truth is near." Chinonso took a deep breath. "Then let her confess."
The beggar broke down. Her body shook all over, hands trembling, teeth chattering. She placed both hands on the ground and whispered, "I did not choose this life." Chinonso and Amaka leaned closer. She raised her head slowly and continued, "I was once a wife, a mother, a happy woman." Her voice cracked. "I helped someone once, a beggar, like I am now. I gave her food, I gave her money, I gave her kindness." Tears rolled down her cheeks. But that beggar was not human. She took from me. She took my family. She took my joy. The crowd became silent. Everyone listened. Everything I had disappeared. My husband died. My children fell sick. My house burned. I was left with nothing. Chinonso whispered, "Jesus." The beggar wiped her tears with shaky hands. "I went mad. I looked for the woman, but she told me that I must suffer as she suffered." Her voice grew darker. "So I went to a man, a priest of the night. He told me that if I accept a curse, I can take back from others what life took from me." Chinonso's chest tightened. "So you take from anyone who gives you money?" She nodded slowly. "Yes. When people give me pity money, a part of their blessing enters me." Her eyes turned sad. "I did not want to do this, but every time I try to stop, something inside me forces me back." Her hands fell to her sides. "I ruin people because I am ruined." The crowd murmured. Some covered their mouths, some shook their heads, some cried quietly. Chinonso felt tears gather in his eyes. "Then why me?" he asked. "I was only trying to help you." The beggar looked at him gently. "You helped me with clean heart. People with clean hearts suffer most because their spirit is open." His tears fell. Amaka held his shoulder. The beggar stretched her hands toward him and whispered, "I am sorry, my son. I never wanted to hurt you. I have carried curses for too long, and anyone who gives me kindness suffers the weight." Her voice softened. "You want your life back? I want my soul back too." The crowd gasped. Even Chinonso froze. "What do you mean?" he asked. She smiled sadly. "You must take it back from me. You must break the connection." "How?" Chinonso asked. The beggar looked at his wife's hand. "At the oil," she whispered. "The same hand you used to give me must touch me again. If not, the curse will stay forever." Amaka swallowed hard. Chinonso's body trembled. The crowd waited. The air grew tight again. And that moment opened the door to the most dangerous part of the story. The beggar's words hung in the air like smoke. "The same hand you used to give me must touch me again." Everyone froze. Even the bus conductors stopped calling passengers. Market women stopped slicing vegetables. Children stopped running. The whole Holy Ghost terminal became quiet. Amaka turned slowly to her husband. "Nonso, can you do it?" He swallowed hard. His right hand felt weak. His legs felt shaky. His chest felt heavy. How could he touch a woman who took his destiny? What if she attacked him again? What if she pulled him into darkness? What if he collapsed right there? But then he remembered. The night he could not feel his legs. The whisper in his ears. The dream where she grabbed his throat. The job he lost. The peace he lost.
He breathed in slowly. "I want my life back," he said. Amaka held his hand tightly. "You are not doing this alone." The oil burns hot. Amaka opened the prophetess's small bottle of oil. At once, a hot wave rose from the bottle. It was not normal heat. It felt like fire without flame. The crowd stepped back. "Jesus!" someone shouted. "This oil they boil without fire."
A man crossed himself. Another woman held her child close. Amaka dipped her fingers in the oil. Her hand shook. "Nonso," she whispered, "this is the moment." He nodded slowly. Together, they walked toward the beggar. The beggar did not move. She only watched them with tired, heavy eyes. Her voice came out weak. "I am ready." The first touch. Chinonso raised his hand. But before he could reach her, a strong wind blew from behind the beggar. Not wind from the air, wind from her body. The crowd screamed, "Blood of Jesus! What is this? Everybody, stand back!" People covered their faces. Amaka held on to Chinonso so he wouldn't fall. The beggar's hair lifted. Her wrapper blew wildly. Her eyes flickered white, then black, then white again. A dark shadow rose behind her, like smoke rising from the ground. It stretched tall, taller than a human. Everyone stepped back. One man ran away shouting, "I no there for this kind thing, oh, God forbid!" Amaka screamed, "Nonso, touch her quickly! Touch her before the spirit stops you!" Chinonso pushed forward. The wind grew stronger.
His eyes watered. His legs shook. It felt like someone was pulling him backward, but he kept going. 5 steps, 4 steps, 3 steps. The beggar shouted in a deep, painful voice, "Hurry, before it takes control." 2 steps, 1 step. Suddenly, Chinonso pressed his oily hand on the beggar's forehead. The explosion. "Jesus!" There was a loud sound like thunder. Whoom! Light flashed. Wind blasted in all directions. People fell to the ground. Amaka grabbed Chinonso tightly as they both stumbled. The beggar screamed, her voice shaking like 12 voices speaking at once. Her eyes rolled back. Her body jerked. Her hand scratched the ground. Black smoke poured from her mouth like thick air. People screamed and ran. "Ah, what is this? This is not ordinary. She's delivering something. Jesus, take control." Amaka kept shouting, "Nonso, don't let go. Don't let go." He held her forehead firmly. His whole body shook. His legs felt weak. His hand burned, but he didn't stop. The beggar's voice grew louder. "Stop! Let me go! Stop!" But Chinonso shouted with all his strength, "Return what you took from me." Then everything went silent. Completely silent. The beggar froze. Her body stopped shaking. Her eyes slowly returned to normal. Her face softened. Her breath calmed. She looked at Chinonso with peace. Soft peace. I feel light," she whispered. "For the first time in many years, I feel free." She lifted her hand. "You have broken it." Tears ran down her cheeks. "Thank you, my son." Chinonso stepped back, shocked. Amaka covered her mouth. The beggar bowed her head on the ground. "I am sorry. I am so sorry for everything."
Then she slowly sat down, breathing like a normal old woman, not a spirit-driven one. The black smoke was gone. The strange wind stopped. The air was normal again. The crowd came closer with fear and curiosity. Is it over? Is she okay now? Did he break the curse? Chineke, what did we just witness? Amaka held Chinonso tightly. Nonso, do you feel anything? He stood still. He waited. Then suddenly, his right foot moved, properly, freely, strongly.
His toes wiggled. His leg bent. His knee lifted. He gasped, "Amaka, I can move it. I can move my leg." Amaka screamed and hugged him. "Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus." The crowd clapped. Some cried. Some shouted praises. But this was not the end, because now the beggar had one more thing to say. Something nobody expected. Something that would shock the whole crowd. Everyone stood quietly around the old woman. Even the noisy Unugu terminal was silent. The beggar wiped her tears with shaking hands. Her voice was soft now, like someone waking from a nightmare. "Please, sit down," she said. But nobody moved. They only watched her. Children hid behind their mothers. Men folded their arms. Women held their chests. The fear was still fresh in everyone's heart. The beggar breathed in slowly and began. "I must tell you the truth. All of it." She looked at Chinonso and Amaka with sad eyes. "My name is Nkem Dilim," she whispered. "I was not always a beggar. I had a husband. I had 3 children. I had a shop. People respected me." Her voice shook as she spoke. "One day, many years ago, I saw a woman crying at my gate. She wore dirty clothes. She looked hungry." Nkem Dilim swallowed hard.
I gave her food. I gave her money. I even let her sleep inside my corridor because it rained that night. She paused, hands trembling. "That was my biggest mistake." Nkem Dilim lifted her face and fresh tears fell. When she woke up the next morning, she smiled at me and said, "Thank you for helping me. But from today, your life is no longer yours." The crowd gasped. A woman whispered, "Chineke." Nkem Dilim nodded. "That same morning, my husband fell sick. My first son fainted. My shop caught fire the next week. Before 1 month, everything I had was gone." She held her chest trembling. I went back to look for that woman, but she was gone. Only her shadow remained. The beggar continued. "I was desperate, broken, lost. So I went to a night priest, a man people warned me not to visit." She shook her head slowly. "That man told me, if you want your life back, you must take from others." The crowd murmured in fear. She continued. "He gave me a small charm. He told me to sit on the road and beg. He said, every money you receive will carry their blessing back to you and leave sorrow behind them." Chinonso clenched his fists. He felt cold inside, but he listened. Nkem Dilim sobbed loudly now. "I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to destroy others, but I was tired. I was helpless. I had lost everything." She looked up at Chinonso with pain in her eyes. "You were not my first victim. There were many before you." The crowd gasped. Nkem Dilim nodded.
"But your kindness broke the chain. When you gave me money, my spirit took from you." She covered her face with her hands. I am so sorry. I am not a monster. I was just trapped. Nkemdilim bowed before Chinonso. You came to confront me. You came with courage and truth. And you did what nobody else ever tried. She touched the ground. You broke the curse, not just for yourself, but for me too. She lifted her head slowly. For the first time in 15 years, I feel free. Later that evening, Chinonso and Amaka returned home. The house felt different. No shadows, no whispers, no fear. Just peace. Chinonso sat on the bed, touched his leg again, and smiled. It is real, he said. I am healed. Amaka sat beside him. She wrapped her hands around his. God saved you, she whispered. And God saved our home. Chinonso nodded slowly. I will never forget today, he said, and I will never give blindly again. In the quiet night breeze, Chinonso stood outside his house and reflected. He said softly, helping people is good, but wisdom is also important. Not every hand that begs is innocent. Not every cry is pure, and not every poor face needs pity. Some carry darkness behind them. He looked at the sky. But when you walk with God, evil cannot win. Be kind, but be discerning. Pray before you help. Not every beggar is helpless. Protect your spirit, your home, your peace. Tell me in the comments, have you ever helped someone and later strange things began to happen? And don't forget, like, share, comment, and subscribe to African Tales by Ijele for more powerful, life-changing stories. See you in the next one. God bless you.